Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solsjaer is reportedly furious with Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola that he announced Paul Pogba could leave Manchester United in the January transfer window. Now Mino Raiola told 2 Sport last week that Paul Pogba's career at Manchester United is over. He said he's unhappy and he said he has to leave and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Now, Mino Raiola made a fresh statement recently on Paul Pogba's future, and he said that it's unlikely now he will leave in January, but he said he can leave next summer. Now, Paul Pogba spoke about his Man United future for the first time since Mino Raiola's comments. And Paul Pogba said that he's always fought and he will always fight for Manchester United, for my teammates and the fans. And he did say that he's 1000% involved in Man United's project. Now, Paul Pogba has been heavily linked with a return to Juventus. I think there's a good chance he will go back to Juventus. And we could get one of their players as part of the deal. You know, we could get Paul Dybala as part of a deal of Pogba going back to Juventus. There has been talks about that recently. You know, there has been talks of Cristiano Ronaldo making a return to Man United as part of a swap deal as well. And even Matthias de Ligt could be part of the deal. Now, like I said to you, he did endure 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison. He hasn't only been linked to a return to Juventus, obviously Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with him. Earlier on this season, Pogba made an admission saying that one day his dream is to join Real Madrid, and he was talking a lot about Zinedine Zidane and Real Madrid last year. PSG, Barcelona and Inter Milan have also been in for him before, so he has had a long-running transfer saga. And it said not so long ago that we've lowered our asking price and we will accept as low as £50 million. Ole Gunnar Solsjaer revealed that he's had conversations with Paul Pogba prior to the game against Man City. Now, he is into his 5th season at Manchester United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the football club so far. That was the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. He's made over 100 appearances in all competitions. And he is our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Man United since he rejoined, he has been inconsistent. Like I said, he's only had a good couple of periods. He was good towards the end of last season. He was good in that 3-month period when Solskjaer was the interim manager. And to his credit, he has done well recently. You know, I thought he did well against Man City. You know, he made an impact against RB Leipzig, got his name on the score sheet. And he scored against West Ham the other week. And that was an exceptional goal. And that game against West Ham was his first start in the Premier League for over a month. Don't forget, he did have an ankle injury. Solskjaer did confirm that that ankle injury was totally comparison to the one that he had last season. Don't forget, earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. Obviously, we do want to cash in for the player. We don't want to let him go on a 3 transfer. Now, like I've updated you a few times, during the last international break, Pogba made quite a few comments saying like this season has been the most difficult period in his career. You know, he says like playing for France is a breath of fresh air. And in general, he was talking about his Man United struggles this season. But reflecting on them comments, he did receive a lot of criticism. And during the last international break, Didier Deschamps was talking a lot about Paul Pogba, weren't he? But during the summer transfer window, Pogba's agent Mino Raiola came out and said that Pogba wants to stay at Man United and he will hold talks over a new long-term contract. And as far as I'm aware, there has been no talks over getting him a long-term contract at the football club. So that is the breaking news on Paul Pogba. Ole Gunnar Solsjaer is furious with our January transfer plans in general. It has recently said that we may have to change our transfer plans for January because at least 2 players are potentially leaving the club. Man United have prioritised 2 positions for January. We're obviously in search for a centre-half and we're also in search for a right winger. Now, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. I think we're going to go in for Jadon Sancho next year. Recent events at Borussia Dortmund have handed us a boost in our pursuit of Jadon Sancho because Dortmund have just recently sacked Lucien Favre. You know, he was our number 1 priority target during the summer transfer window. You know, recent reports have said that, you know, we are now back in for Dayot Upamecano. Arsenal are also in for him. It recently said that Bayern Munich are leading the race, but The Athletic recently said that we've culled our interest in Upamecano because we no longer consider him as a priority. Don't forget, at the end of the season, he's available for around £38 million because that's when his release clause does become active. But we need someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. Obviously, we've been linked with Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes. You know, he's a possible replacement for Paul Pogba. Said earlier on this season that, you know, Rennes would accept around £40 million for him. Jack Grealish, I think we could go in for him next year. We was in for him during the summer transfer window. I think we could go in for Erling Haaland next year as well. Like I said, it was a shame that we missed out on him back in January because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing. Because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows the player well. Ousmane Dembele, you know, we could even go in for him next year. Ed Woodward, by the way, has promised that he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ed Woodward has come out several times to support Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, despite us having a poor start to the season and despite us getting knocked out of the Champions League. Obviously, we're going to get rid of players next year because there is still deadwood in the squad. I think next year we'll be getting rid of Jesse Lingard. You know, Jesse Lingard doesn't regularly get in our team now, but when he was playing, he was very inconsistent. Don't forget, there was a period where he didn't score 1 goal in the Premier League or register an assist in the Premier League for over a year. Lingard, I think, is into the final 12 months of his contract. Odin Igalo, I'm expecting him to leave in January. That's when his loan expires with the club. we got Odin Ighalo on deadline day back in January. Now, the main explanation why we got Ighalo in was to get a cover up for Marcus Rashford, because at the time Marcus Rashford was out with that back injury. Ighalo doesn't get in the team lot now, but to his credit, he was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup last season. I think Phil Jones will also leave the football club next year. He's been very inconsistent. He's currently injured at the moment. I think this is Jones' 10th season now at Man United. He has been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. I think Rojo will go next year. Marcus Rojo has never really established himself as a first team regular since he's come in. Rojo's been at Man United now a good 5.5 years at least. Got him back in 2014 from Sporting Lisbon. Paid just over £16 million for him. We did loan him out last season at Estudiantes. I think we'll get rid of Romero next year because Sergio Romero is now our third choice goalkeeper. I think Romero's enjoyed a good 5 years or so at the football club. Got him on a free from San Pandora back in 2015. I think Daniel James could also go next year. Leeds United are the ones that have been interested in him. Daniel James has actually lost his place in the team, hasn't he? But when he has played, he has been out of form. We got Daniel James in June of last year. We got him in a deal worth £18 million. There's been rumours saying that we could loan Brandon Williams out in January. I think it'd be beneficial if we did that, because obviously Brandon Williams would get more experience and he hasn't played much this season. He is our third choice left back now following the arrival of Alex Telles. Williams played quite a lot of games last season, and last season was his first season in our senior squad. But Luke Shaw, don't forget, had a couple of periods out with injury. But yeah, Southampton are the ones interested in Williams. They probably want to provide competition for Ryan Bertrand. And there's obviously been rumours of Dean Henderson going out on loan. Matic could leave next year because I think Matic is too inconsistent. He hasn't been great this season, but to his credit, he had some good games towards the end of last season. Even Juan Mata could leave the club next year. Now, I think Man United need around 3 or 4 signings to win the Premier League title, or at least challenge for the Premier League title. Now, Solsjaer's recently said that Man United can win the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it now for around 8 years. Don't forget, we are the most successful team in Premier League history because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier League titles. Now, if we beat Sheffield United tomorrow, we're in a title hunt. We are sitting 9th or something like that in the Premier League, but we must be only 5 or 6 points behind top. And we should beat Sheffield United because Sheffield United are abysmal. They're sitting bottom of the league. They haven't won a game yet in the league this season. And they've only registered 1 point from their opening 12 games. That's very, very bad to their standards. Sheffield United have failed to win any of their last 7 league games at Bramall Lane. I'm surprised at Sheffield United because last season they was very, very good. I think they finished at 8th or 9th last season. And I give Chris Wilder a lot of credit last season. Chris Wilder's got Sheffield United all the way from League One to the Premier League. He's enjoyed a good 4 years or so now at Sheffield United. Before he was at Sheffield, I think he was at Northampton, Oxford. He's managed Halifax before, and he's also managed Alfred Town. The game at Bramall Lane last season was 3-3. Don't forget we overcame a 2-goal deficit. The game at Old Trafford was 3-0. Anthony Martial had scored a hat-trick. Sheffield United have got a few players out for tomorrow, by the way, like I've said. Jack O'Connell's out for the season. Keane Bryan's injured. And I think Oliver McBurney's out, and he's one of their key players. He's probably Sheffield United's best player. Simon Moore, I think's also out as well. So that's it. And, McGoldrick, he's one of their key players. Norwood, he's one of their key players. Billy Sharp, he's one of their key players. John Fleck. Musset, he's one of their key players. They've obviously got Jack Rodwell and Phil Jagielka. They've obviously got Brewster. They got him, was it last summer, from Liverpool. They've also got that Beek, who I think they got last summer. They've obviously got Aaron Ramsdale in goal. So, yeah, they have got some good players. If we do beat Sheffield United tomorrow, it will be 10 wins in a row in the league away from home. And we've been exceptional away from home. We've won our last 9 away games in a row in the league. And we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League since January. So we have gone almost a year without losing away from home in the league. And that's actually a good record. I've already gone through with you how Manchester United could line up for this game. I think Ollie's going to go with a 4-3-3 formation. I think he's going to go with David De Gea in goal. He's going to go with Wan-Bissaka at right back. The two centre-halves, Maguire and Lindelof. Left back, Alex Telles. A midfield of Paul Pogba, Van der Beek and Fred. And I think the front three will be Martial on the left, Rashford on the right and Edison Cavani up top. Edison Cavani should be available for this game. We'll know more today about Edison Cavani because Ole Gunnar Solsjaer, he's doing his press conference, isn't he? Building up to the game. We've obviously got a massive game on Sunday against Leeds at Old Trafford. The old rivalry's back. Won't be easy though for us, because Leeds United, do play expansive football. They've got a good manager in Marcelo Bielsa. They've obviously got good players as well. They've obviously got Rodrigo. They got him during the summer. They've got Diego Llorente. They got him during the summer. He's not going to be available though for the weekend because he's out with injury. They've obviously got Bamford, one of their key players. They've got Alioski. They got Rafinha as well. They got Rafinha during the summer, didn't they? They've also got that Robin Koch. He's good, but he's out until January, so he won't be playing for Leeds on Sunday. They've got Berardi. He's also out with injury. They've got that Click, I think he's made an impact at Leeds as that Click. They've obviously got Calvin Phillips, he came back not so long ago. They've obviously got Stuart Dallas as well, pretty good. They've got Adam Forshaw, he's also out with injury, so he won't be playing on Sunday. They've obviously got Liam Cooper as well. It's going to be the first meeting in the Premier League between Man United and Leeds since 2004 because Leeds were relegated back in 2004, obviously because they lost all the money and they was out of the top flight for a good 16 years or so, but Leeds won the championship last season, their first trophy in 28 years. Obviously the last time we played Leeds was the summer of 2019, pre-season, beat them 4-0 in Australia. Played them back in 2011 in the League Cup, beat them 3-0. Lost to them 1-0 back in the FA Cup third round in 2010. Jermaine Beckford had scored. After Leeds, we've got Everton in the Carabao Cup. That's a big game for us as well. And after that, it's Leicester. So games are coming up thick and fast for Man United. But we are unbeaten in our last 5 league games. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is into his second full season as Manchester United manager. And he has been at the football club now for around 2 years. It's nearly now his 2-year anniversary. We appointed him in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. He's under contract with Man United until 2022. I'm very sceptical we'll see how his contract at the football club. He's managed over 100 games for us in all competitions. But if Man United could finish in the top 4 this season, and if we could win a trophy, that would represent a very, very good season for Man United. Then that would give us something to build on. I think the biggest problems at Manchester United, like I said recently, is obviously our defence, because we are leaking goals and we've been behind in a lot of games this season. I think we've been behind in all our away games in the league. You can say maybe goalkeeper's one of the problems as well, because obviously a lot of United fans are saying, De Gea should remain number 1. We should put Dean Henderson now as number 1. Pogbas one of the biggest problems at the club because he's had such a long running transfer saga, like I mentioned. I think Solsjaer's one of the problems as well, because I don't think he's the right manager for Man United, because I think he's way out of his depth. His decision making concerns me because he's made a lot of mistakes in games and he hasn't got that proven pedigree as a manager. The board's obviously one of the biggest problems at the club. Obviously because the board haven't backed any of the managers that we've had since Ferguson left, and our recruitment policy's been poor for several years. We've been demanding the board out for several years. So they are the problems at Manchester United, and I think Ollie's got to identify his best 11, because I don't think he knows his best 11. He's also got to select the right formation. I have taken positives from Solskjaer's tenure. Like I said, he did well in his first full season last season, got us qualification for the Champions League, got us third, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. He's made good signings since he got appointed in as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million and enjoyed 4 transfer windows at the club. He's brought around, a good 10 senior players in. He's also brought, a few young players in. So I like the way he's promoted the youth. We've also seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in, so he has got rid of some of the deadwood. Ollie showed tactical flexibility as well in a lot of the big games, and we have enjoyed some good periods under him. Don't forget we went on the 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season. I think we was 14 unbeaten in the Premier League. But not all of the blame stems from Ollie, reflecting our inconsistency for most of this season. Our home form concerns me as well, because we've only won 1 game at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. That was West Brom, and we was very fortunate to win that. We've only scored 1 goal from open play at Old Trafford this season, haven't we? So there's issues that do need to be solved. Now, like I've said, we have got some very, very good players in our team. Obviously Bruno Fernandes is very, very good. He's our best player and is the best signing we've made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Fernandes, I think, has created more chances than any other player in the Premier League this season. And he's been at the club now, is it a year or almost a year? He won Player of the Month for November, did Bruno Fernandes. And he's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Did it say after the West Ham game we was preparing to offer him a new contract worth £200,000 a week, doubling his current wages. We paid £47 million for him from Sporting Lisbon back in January, didn't we? But Bruno Fernandes did say, didn't he, I came to Manchester to win trophies. He predominantly plays in that number 10. A lot of his goals, to be honest with you, have come from the penalty spot. He's also provided assists as well. I also think that Donny van der Beek's a good player for Man United. I think he should be playing against Sheffield United tomorrow. Donny van der Beek didn't start against City. He didn't start against Leipzig, but he did come on. He started against West Ham. That was his second start in the Premier League for Man United. He made his full Premier League debut in the 3-2 win against Southampton. We paid £40 million for Donny van der Beek from Ajax. When we have been playing him recently, we've been putting him in a deeper role, haven't we? That's where he's more effective, but he can play in like 3 different roles. Marcus Rashford, he's obviously very, very good. He's enjoyed a couple of poor games this season, but I think he's improved under Solsjaer. Sometimes we put Rashford centrally, sometimes we put him out wide. I think he's more effective out wide than he is centrally. But there again, he can put a good performance out when he plays centrally. Rashford's been part of the club for several years. I think Edinson Cavani's also good. He's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Don't forget he's recently been out with a muscle problem. I said when we got Edinson Cavani, he will be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Don't forget the other week he scored twice against Southampton, got an assist, came off the bench, so he changed the complexion of that game. Scored his first goal for the club in our 3-1 win against Everton earlier on in the season. And he almost scored with his first touch when he came on against Chelsea. That was his Premier League debut for the club. I think Mason Greenwood's also a very good player. Done alright recently. Weren't brilliant against City. But he was good against RB Leipzig. I thought he was good against West Ham. Scored a very, very good goal. He has had personal issues this season, Mason Greenwood. Obviously, he's had injuries, and at one point he was out with illness. But Solskjaer has been defending Mason Greenwood a lot this season. This is his second season in our senior squad. Was it at the start of this season we give him that number 11 shirt? I also think Anthony Martial is good when he wants to be, but this season he's definitely not been good. He's been out of form this season, he just hasn't been clinical enough. Martial, had 2 good chances against PSG at Old Trafford, didn't convert any of them. Probably had 1 good game, that was the Istanbul Başakşehir game at Old Trafford when we won 4-1, but this season Martial's failing to replicate what he did last season, because last season he was good. He scored 23 goals in 48 games. He was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal era. Martial's enjoyed a good 5 years or so at the football club. I think Juan Mata's a good player, and I think he's had a fantastic career at Manchester United. Juan Mata's enjoyed a good 6 years or so now at the club. But my ultimate concern now is that he's lost that yard of pace, and he's 33, 34 years of age. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. Juan Mata rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia earlier on this season. I think Fred's a good player as well. I think he's done well in a lot of games this season where he's broke up the play well, he's showed good attacking intent. So there you go. We paid £47 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. Like I mentioned, Paul Pogba can be good when he wants to be. And he, like I said earlier on, to his credit, he has done well recently. McTominay can be a good player when he wants to be, but obviously he's not world class. I think actually Fred's better than McTominay, to be honest with you. I think Luke Shaw's good as well for Man United. He was very good against Man City, was Luke Shaw. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he's too injury prone. Just come back from a hamstring problem not so long ago. Alex Telles, I think he's good as well. He's enjoyed a good start to his Man United career. He was poor though against RB Leipzig, very, very poor. That was his first bad game for Man United. But Telles, when he plays well, he can get in decent positions. He can defend well. He can put good crosses into the box. Obviously, he can play Telles and Luke Shaw in our 11 if obviously we revert to a back 5. I think we've done that. I think Harry Maguire, he's also a good player when he wants to be. You know, he has had good games this season where he's been very effective in the air and he showed that ability to play out from the back. But there's been games where he's looked too exposed and he's made too many mistakes. And my reservations about him is that he's too slow as Harry Maguire and he can be easily predictable as well. Certainly wasn't worth the £80 million that we paid for him. He is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. I think Eric Bailly is a good centre-half. That's obviously when he can play. He hardly plays for us now. And my element of concern about him is far too injury-prone, is Eric Bailly. Victor Lindelof's shown glimpses that he can be a good centre-half as well, but I've got my reservations about Lindelof. Too static, makes too many mistakes, and nowhere near on the same level as Harry Maguire. And I think also Wan-Bissaka is a good right-back, but I've still got my reservations about Wan-Bissaka. You know, this is why we're probably now in search for a right-back. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.